Hey everybody, it's me, Randy Brown, and today I got a special treat for you. This is the biggest mistake I made in 2020. Now, there's a little bit of background on this. I'm going to give you the biggest mistake, the three reasons for the mistake, and the three fixes that you can employ in your own life to be successful in whatever. Okay, so let me go over the mistakes. So what I did, basically in March, I went to my favorite theater. I did open mic magic, and I bombed hard. Basically, what happened was the trick was supposed to go like this. Somebody in the audience picks a random number from 1 to 100. The number picked actually was 82. And then I was supposed to have the person choose between four books. They were supposed to pick the right book, and I was supposed to write down a prediction of what the word would be. I, I had them pick among the four books. They picked the right book, and they opened the book up to the right page, and they read the word that was on number 82, and it was not the word that I had picked. It was close. It was phone instead of fan. We've got an F and an N sound. But I totally bombed. I didn't recover from that, and I ended the last show that this theater had on a real down note. Everybody was like thinking, "Oh, he's gonna pull something out," and I was like, "Nope, sorry, you guys, I messed up. I don't have anything to say. I'm done." And then they did not have another show that night. Usually at the open mic you get two rotations: first rotation, second rotation. And if you're still around and you want to do something for the second rotation, you can. But they didn't have a second rotation that night. So basically, I sucked, I bombed, and there was nothing I could do about it. But the reason I bombed were three specific reasons, and I'm going to give you the fix for each one of those reasons. Number one, the reason why I bombed was it was too ambitious. They had the ability to pick between 1 and 100 numbers. Now, here's the thing with ambitious. There is a saying, if you shoot for the moon and miss, you'll land in the stars, whatever. Or maybe it's shoot at the stars and you land on the moon. But anyways, you don't want to be too ambitious in your goals. You want your goals to be just out of your reach. Just out of your reach. Because here's the thing. The more you fail, the more demoralized you're going to get. One or two failures is inevitable. But if you set a goal and it's a really huge goal and you fail time after time after time after time after time, sooner or later you're going to get tired of failing and you're not even going to try. So what you want your goals to be, you want your goals to be a tiny bit ambitious, but nothing out of your reach. And you want it to be realistic too, because if you have only made about $100 in your entire life, and your goal is to make $1 million in a day, that's not very realistic. It is an ambitious goal, but you're probably going to fail. If you haven't made $100 in your entire life, and you're trying to make $1 million in a day, good luck to you. And but I doubt you're going to get it. So that was the first reason, too ambitious. Second reason, I didn't practice. I came up with that entire magic trick on the spot. Um, I had it in my head about 20 minutes beforehand, and like I said, it was too ambitious, but if I would have practiced, it would have been very plausible that I would have guessed the right number and the right word. So remember, you gotta practice. Tip one, make your goals realistic and achievable. Tip two, practice, practice, practice. Because there's a saying, perfect practice persistently produces positive product. something like that. But yeah, so practice the hell out of your trick. And like I said, if I would have practiced, I probably would have pulled this trick off. But I didn't. I came up with that trick 20 minutes before I did the trick, and didn't practice. And because of that, it was too ambitious for me. And there you go. And then the last trick, the last mistake that I made was that I did not have a backup plan. All right. Now, a backup plan is essential. You should never do a trick without some, way of like saving the trick if the trick doesn't go right. Okay. Now, in this book by Richard Machowicz, Unleash the Warrior Within, this guy was a former Navy SEAL. And he said the SEALs have not only one backup plan, but for every mission that they plan two contingencies. Okay, so if a Navy SEAL, the greatest fighters on the planet Earth, need two contingencies, that means you should probably have at least one. And I'll tell you about a mistake I made about 2 months ago. I do this routine, and this routine is called 7 Blue Ace of Spades. And this is another mistake I made. So I go up to this girl and I go, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to pick a number 1 through 7. Pick a number 1 through 7. Pick a color, pick a card. Now, 75% of the time, people will pick blue, 7, and ace of spades. But she didn't do that. So I couldn't hand her this card. That would have been illogical. But when I went home that night, I learned from my mistakes. So that's a good tip. Learn from your mistakes. I said, well, what if that happens again? And anyways, like with the 7 blue ace of spades, sometimes if you got only 2 or even 1, people are still impressed. But I did not have a backup plan. But later on that day, I came up with a backup plan for the 7 blue ace of spades. Now, if you see my 7 blue ace of spades video, you already know what it is. But now, if I do the 7 blue ace of spades and they don't pick that number, I go, well, now, how crazy would it be if I had all the answers you gave on the back of this card? And they're like, that'd be pretty crazy. And I was like, would it be really crazy? And they'd be like, yeah, that'd be really crazy. And then I go, well, believe it or not, I have a card with all the answers you gave. So there you go. So now, if they pick 7 blue ace of spades, I'm covered. And then if they pick something completely different, I'm covered. So again, let's recap. Number 1, don't be too ambitious. Choose goals that are slightly out of your reach, but not totally unrealistic. 2, practice, practice, practice. And if you practice, sufficiently, some of your goals that you might have thought were too ambitious are actually within your reach. And then finally, have a backup plan. Because if you don't have a backup plan, you might get caught with your pants down, and not in a good way. Okay? So that is basically the biggest mistake of 2020 that I did. You got the three mistakes, and then you've got the 3 fixes. So that's basically all I'm going to do. My name's Randy Brown for Cameo Man and Vlogging with Mr. Brown, and I will see you later, alligator. All right, bye.